Good morning, all. This is Dr. Rakesh Kumar, and topic for the day is X-ray film processing. X-ray film processing is a very important topic as per the theory is concerned, where you might get an X-ray or short notes, and that's equally important for your practical aspects also, where you're supposed to take an X-ray film and process it for the university exam. So to start with, to understand the X-ray film processing, we need to understand the composition of an intraoral film packet. As shown in image, intraoral film packet, it consists of a film at the center. It is surrounded by a black paper, and it got a lead foil which is seen behind. The film, black paper and the red foil, everything is packed into a polyethylene wrapper. The function of a black paper is the X-ray films are sensitive to UV light, not only to X-rays. The X-ray films are sensitive to UV light. The black paper protects the film from UV light, and the function of a lead foil is it protects the film from backscatter. And the function of a polyethylene wrap around the X-ray film is it protects the film, black paper and the lead sheet from salivary contamination once the film is placed in the oral cavity. We are going to discuss the composition of X-ray film alone. The X-ray film composition, it consists of a thin base as shown in an image down. On either side of an image, where we see an emulsion, which is shown with a grey line, and this emulsion is attached to an X-ray film with an adhesive, which is shown with a green line in an image. Usually this base has a slight bluish tint, which makes viewing the film easier on the eye. The surface of an emulsion is covered by a supercoat, which is seen with an yellow line, which helps to protect the film. So separately we are going to discuss an emulsion of an X-ray film. The emulsion is usually made up of silver halide crystals and gelatin. As I told you, the emulsion is made up of silver halide crystals and gelatin. The image down is a microscopic image which clearly shows there is a silver halide crystals embedded in a gelatin matrix. The silver halide crystals usually are of two types. One is tabular or flat, other one is globular. The globular silver halide crystals are usually used in D-speed films. These crystals are like small pebbles. The tabular or flat shaped silver halide crystals, they are used with F-speed films and E-speed. E-speed we all call it as Ekta vision films. So these silver halide crystals, they are embedded in a gelatin matrix. Look at an image on a right hand side. The silver halide crystals, as we discussed, are tabular. The tabular films has a flat increased surface area when compared with a globular silver halide crystals. That's the reason why the tabular silver halide crystals are more sensitive to X-rays. That's the reason why the E and F-speed films needs an less exposure when compared with the D-speed films. Since we have discussed about X-ray film packet and silver halide crystal types, we are going to discuss about latent image formation. when an X-ray radiation interacts with some human tissue, after interacting the human tissue, the X-ray beam will come and interact with the silver halide crystals in a film emulsion. Once the X-ray beam interacts with a film emulsion on an X-ray film, the image on the film is produced, but the image on the film, whatever is produced, is not visible to naked eye. The image is not visible to naked eye before processing, and it is called an latent image. The latent meaning invisible. So X-ray beam coming and hitting an X-ray film or in silver halide crystals in an X-ray film forms an image, but we can't see the image with our naked eye. That is invisible. That is the reason we call it as a latent image. Once you process this X-ray film, the invisible or latent image will convert into a visible image. That is where we can view an image on an X-ray film. The example of this another type of latent image is fingerprints. If you touch an item, you leave your fingerprints even though you cannot see them on that item. However, when the item is treated or processed, your fingerprints become visible. The same thing is applicable with your X-ray film also. X-ray beam coming and interacting with an X-ray film forms an image, but image is not clearly seen. Once the film is processed, the invisible image will convert into a visible image. So, we are going to discuss how the invisible image is formed first. Then we are going to discuss how the X-ray is processed to convert this invisible image into visible image. So formation of a latent image, as we discussed about emulsion, it has millions of silver halide crystals embedded in a gelatin matrix. Here we are going to take single silver halide crystal within an emulsion as seen with an image on the left hand side. The silver halide crystals are usually silver bromides and silver iodides. As we can see with an image, there is a silver bromide crystal lattice structure. The silver bromide crystal lattice structure, it has a positive silver particles in between the silver halide crystal structures. The presence of positive silver within the silver halide crystal structures, we call it as an interstitial silver. And usually the film surface, that is the silver halide crystal surface, has some amount of sulfur to create an impure structure. The presence of a sulfur on a silver halide structure, we call it as a sensitive site. Again, we repeat, there is a silver halide crystal. Usually the silver halide crystals are silver bromides, that is a positive silver and negative bromide attached to form an silver halide structure. Within the silver halide structures, we see a positive silver, we call it as an interstitial silver as shown in an image. Again, on each silver halide crystal, we see a sulfur particle. The sulfur particle creates an imperfections within the silver halide structures. We call it as a sensitive site. Once the X-ray beam hits an object, for example teeth, it comes and hits an enamel. Enamel got a density of 90%, for example. 90% of an X-ray beam is absorbed by enamel. 10%, that is 10 X-ray photons, will come and hit an X-ray film. Again coming to dentin, its density is 70%. 70% of an X-ray energy is absorbed by dentin. Only 30% of an X-ray photon or an X-ray energy will come and hit the film. Again, it's a pulp, is a soft tissue where it got a 30% density. 30% of an X-ray beam is absorbed by pulp and 70% of an X-ray energy or X-ray photons will come and hit the film. So there is difference in densities in objects. Similarly, there is a difference in X-ray beam hitting the film. If there is an enamel, 10% of an X-ray beam will hit, dentin 30% will hit, pulp 70% will hit the film. This difference in densities usually appears as in black and white images. 10% of an X-ray photons hitting the film, that appears more white. 70% photons hitting the film, that appears more black. That's why we get in black and white images. Here, as I told you, the scene with a second image, the X-ray photon is coming in, hitting a silver bromide. That hits a bromide. Bromide is negatively charged, so that emits an electron. Each single photon which hits a bromide emits an electron. This electron will go and entrap at a sensitive site, that is an impure site where sulfur particles are sprayed. That results in formation of a negative charge at a sensitive site. As seen with an image, the first image, there is a negative charge. The negative charge is formed because the electron which is released from bromide is entrapped at a sensitive site, forming a negative charge. Once there is a negative charge, we have interstitial positive silvers within the same silver halide structure. This positive silver will go and again entrap at a sensitive site. There is a negative charge to a sensitive site. The interstitial positive will go and attach to it, results in formation of an stable metallic silver atom, as seen with a fourth image. That is a second image in a slide. There is a sensitive site. The sensitive site has a stable metallic silver atom. The formation of a stable metallic silver atom, we call it as a latent image site or invisible image site. For example, if we have 10 stable silver metallic atoms at an impure site, that is equivalent to a enamel. If you have 20 stable silver atoms at an impure site, that represents your dentin. Again, if you have 17 stable silver atoms at a latent image site or a sensitive site, that represents pulp. So there is a more amount of stable silver atoms, that area appears black. Less amount of stable silver atoms, that area appears white. So there is a latent image or invisible image seen on an X-ray film, but that is not seen with a naked eye. That's the reason why we call it as again I repeat, latent image or invisible image. So we need, after exposure, we need to process this X-ray film to convert the latent image into visible image. So here we are going to discuss a processing cycle. This is a systematic way of converting an invisible image into a visible image by X-ray film processing. The first thing, the X-ray film is seen within a film packet. We unwrap the packet in a dark room. So all of you must be aware of an X-ray dark room, usually of 5x4 size. The dark room should have two kinds of lights. One is a safe light, other one is a visible light. And it has containers for 3 containers. One is a bigger container where it got hot and cold water flow. Within the bigger container, it has 2 tanks. One tank on a left hand side, we call it for a developing solution. Then at the center of we have a water. Then a third tank, again we have a fixing tank. So the dark room always should have a completely dark, and whenever you are processing the film, you make sure that the room has a proper lock. No one should barge in while you are processing the X-ray film. So once you open the film packet in a dark room, the film is immersed in a developing solution. You agitate the developing solution so that removes or air bubbles. Then you leave the film in a developing solution for 5 minutes. So what happens once you develop the film, we are going to discuss in the next slides. Then you remove the film from a developing solution after 5 minutes. The developing solution is a temperature sensitive. Usually it takes 2.5 minutes. At lesser temperatures, it takes more time at higher temperatures. Then you wash the film properly so that the action of a developer comes to an halt. Then you place the film in a fixing solution for about 8 to 10 minutes. Then after 10 minutes, again you wash the film and you allow the film to dry for the free atmosphere. Again, drying the film also should be done within a dark room itself. You process the film in a dark room, you dry the film in a dark room. While processing, always use a safe light where the intensity of a light in a dark room is low. Once you are drying the film, use a normal light. And again, a dark room should have a lead container where the X-ray films can be stored. So once you place the film in an X-ray developing solution, what happens is the developing solution usually consists of 4 kinds of reagents. The first one is a developer. Usually developer we call it as a reducing agent. The purpose of this developer is to convert the exposed silver halide crystals into metallic silver grains. That is, to convert latent image site where there is a silver atom into a black metallic silver grain which appears radio lucent on your X-ray film. Again I repeat, the action of developing solution is to convert the latent image sites having a stable silver atom on its surface to metallic silver grains which appears radiolucent or black on your X-ray film. So the developing agent, it consists of 2 types. One is a phenadone, other one is a hydroquinone. Phenadone we call it as a primary electron donor. What does the phenadone do? Phenadone provides an electrons. These electrons will go and reach the latent image site where there is a stable silver atom. Then this stable silver atom at a latent image site acts as a catalyst. Catalyst means which facilitates, and the silver atom which is seen on a latent image site as seen in an image will permit the electron from the developing solution to reach the structure below the latent image site. Below the latent image site, what we see is a silver halide crystal, that is silver bromide. So these electrons from a developing solution at a latent image site reaches to the surface below it, that is a silver bromide area. Why only the electron from a developing solution reaches the silver bromide? It doesn't reach the silver bromide at an unexposed areas. Why it doesn't reach? Because the stable silver atom acts as a catalyst at a latent image site. On rest of a silver chloride structure, it doesn't have a stable silver atom which acts as a catalyst to take an electrons down below the latent image site, that is a silver bromide. So what happens is the electrons from your silver, once the electron reaches your silver bromide crystal below the latent image site, that results in the electron breaks the bromide, the silver bromide, results in the formation of an bromide negative and silver positive. So the silver negative solution will be taken out, but the silver positive below the latent image site, that we call it as an metallic silver grains or black metallic silver grains. This black metallic silver grains appears radio lucent or black. Apart from latent image sites, all other sites which are not affected by a developing solution, they appears white. So what is the role of hydroquinone in developing solution? The phenidone is a primary electron donor which constantly gives an electrons. So once it gives an electrons, the phenidone becomes unstable. It loses electrons. So hydroquinone will provide electrons to phenidone and makes the phenidone stable. The second component of developing solution is preservative. The preservative we have is a sodium sulfite that acts as an antioxidant. So sodium sulfite has a greater affinity for oxygen and protects the developer from being oxidized by atmospheric oxygen. As we discussed, the developing solution constantly giving in electrons, it got an ability to take electrons from an oxygen. We call it as an oxidation. So the sodium sulfite, it acts as an antioxidant agent and it protects or prevents the developing solution. In turn, it helps to extend the useful life of hydroquinone and phenidone. Again, the developing solution has a third component, accelerator or activator. The developing solution is active only at an alkaline high pH medium, that is pH at 11. So they add an accelerator or an activator. The common activator is sodium bicarbonate. So the sodium bicarbonate acts as an activator. Also, the sodium bicarbonate serves to soften the gelatin. As we have a film, X-ray film has an emulsion has a silver halide crystals and gelatin. So that softens, the accelerator softens the gelatin, so thus the gelatin becomes soft and it permits the developing agent can reach the silver halide crystals to act at an emulsion level. Then restrainer is a fourth and the last component of a developing solution. What does the restrainer do and what does it contains? Restrainer is made up of potassium bromide and what does it contain? Although it does depress the reduction of both the exposed and unexposed crystals, restrainer is, it protects the unexposed silver halide crystals from developing solution. As I told you, we have a latent image site, we have a non-latent image site on an X-ray film. Your developer will only act at a latent image site where there is a stable silver atom is seen. Your developer doesn't act at an unexposed silver halide crystals where it doesn't have a latent image site. The restrainer function is, it protects unexposed silver halide crystals that results in anti-fogging effect of an X-ray film. Anti-fogging in the sense, it prevents darkening of a film at an unexposed areas. So once the X-ray film is developed, we need to rinse the film. That is, after developing the film, we need to rinse with the water for 15 to 20 seconds before they are placed in a fixer. What does the rinsing do? The rinsing will dilute the developing process or it stops the developing process. Again a rinsing, the developer has an alkaline activity, so that prevents or neutralizes the alkaline activity of a developing solution, because the fixer is an acid base, so we need the X-ray film to be a neutral before we place the film in a fixer solution. So once you rinse the film, we need to place the film in a fixing solution. Again, fixer solution has 4 components. The first one, the function of a fixing solution is to remove the unexposed silver halide crystals from emulsion. The exposed silver halide crystals where we have an black metallic silver grains that appears black on an X-ray film. The function of a fixer is to remove the unexposed silver halide crystals from an emulsion, so thus that area appears white. That's how we get black and white images. The developing solution helps to form a blackened image. Fixer will remove unexposed silver halide crystals, results in a white image. That's how we get in black and white images. The presence of unexposed silver crystals causes the film to be again opaque. If not removed, will cause the film to be obscured and non-diagnostic. So the function of a fixing solution is to remove an unexposed silver halide crystals. As I told you, the fixing solution has 4 components. The first component is a clearing agent. We also call it as a fixing agent. The most common fixing agent is sodium thiosulfate or ammonium thiosulfate. The function is to remove the unexposed or undeveloped silver halide crystals from the film. And again the fixer solution has preservative, again a sodium sulfate. The function of a preservative is to extend the life of fixing solution by preventing oxidation of the fixing solution. Then again, fixer solution is acidic in nature. It consists of an acidic acid or sulfuric acid. The purpose of this acidic is to neutralize the alkaline developers. Even though we wash the film in water after developing, still it caused certain amount of residual alkalines component. So we place it in an acidic fixer, so thus that neutralizes the solution. It also produces the necessary acidic environment for the fixing solution. Again, the 4th component of fixing solution is hardening agent, that is potassium alum. So once the fixing is over, what does it do? As we discussed in a developing solution, it got an alkaline component which softens the emulsion, that is a gelatin component of an emulsion that allows the developing solution to peep in. Here we have a developing agent. Once the fixing is over, it hardens and shrinks the gelatin in the film. So thus all the softened by the accelerator in a development solution comes out, and also it makes the film hard, and again it helps in shortness of a drying time. So hardener, it helps in 2 functions. One is shortens a drying time. Next one is it hardens an X-ray film. Again, we should wash the film within sufficient water flow for adequate time to remove all the processing solutions. After this, we need to dry the film. We have 2 kinds of dryers. Either we can fan dry it using a fan. If not, we can dry it with a device or a hot blow, where we can place the film in a hot blowing chambers and dry the film. Then the film is ready to view. And this is how we get the film. So as seen in an image, we can clearly differentiate the densities between the enamel, dentin, pulp and alveolar bone. As I showed you, the enamel is appearing completely white. Since enamel got a 90% density, only 10% of an X-ray photons will come and hit the film. That's why it appearing radio opaque. Again with the dentin, 20% of X-ray photons are coming and hitting the film. That's why it appears less opaque than enamel. Whereas a pulp, 70% of the X-ray photons will hit the pulp. That's why this appears more radiolucent. That this difference in densities is well appreciated after proper processing in X-ray film. So this is about X-ray film processing. Thank you all.